Greetings and felicitations. From Geek Public Broadcasting, this is Unboxing. I'm your host, Zayton1, and here today we have Star Wings, X-Wings Miniatures, the Sabine's TIE Fighter expansion pack that we're going to go ahead and open up for you all. This is, of course, they say Sabine's TIE Fighter from the show Star Wars Rebels. If I remember right, I actually thought it belonged to Ezra. I thought Ezra and Zeb stole it, and then she just kind of painted it and claimed it as her own. But they're Fantasy Flight saying it's hers, so there we go. Now let's see the back. Let's see. Expand and upgrade your X-wing game. Pardon me. The ubiquitous TIE fighter was one of the Empire's most common symbols of oppression. When one of these nimble craft fell into the hands of a rebel saboteur and artist, Sabine Wren, she knew exactly how to customize it for use against the Empire. Alright, so I've already pre-cut the back. That way we don't have to deal with cutting up that. So let's go ahead and open this girl. Alright, there's our card upgrades. And let's go ahead and get our model out. There we go. Alright. And there we are with Sabine and her tie. Look at that. Oh, that is very nice. Once again, Fantasy Flight has just been doing a fantastic job with these models lately. And just look at the details on that. It's pretty much like a standard old tie. But you just look at the details on that. Look at that paint job. I know people have tried to paint these on their own, but I don't know. I'd love to see how they paint these. I have no idea how. This is they've got to have some type of machine paint to get them all this accurate all the time, I'm thinking. And that's really nice. Let's go ahead and put it on its stand. Get those pegs in there. All right, and look at that. Yep, that's a really nice model. That's a really nice model right there. Let's set her aside, because as we all know, the model is only half the goodies that Fantasy Flight brings to us with each of these expansions. So let's go ahead and look at what else is going on with her. All right, let's set these to the side for now. And first, let's take a look at this maneuver dial. All right, pretty much a standard tie dial, but of course this is going to be a rebel ship, so they're going to get all those lovely dancing around goodies. You got pretty good maneuverability. You've got your ones, you've got your twos, you got a lot of green. You got a 3 and 4K turn. You got a 5 straight. So this is once again a speedy little devil, and then we actually have this little mysterious token here, which I know what that's for, but I won't ruin the surprise for you all yet. We'll see it once we get to it. Yep, there we go. We got quite a few targets. We got quite a few. Let's see. Yep, looking pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and start with the pilots. And starting with Ahsoka Tano, of course, as you all know, Anakin Skywalker's apprentice from Star Wars, The Clone Wars, a fan favorite character. She came back in Rebels, and now apparently she's flying Sabine's tie, which I don't recall ever happening, but I suppose they just needed some people to throw on this thing. It's like when they threw Thane Kyrell on the Arc 170. I don't pardon me. I'm hoping they have some type of rebel veterans or something so they can actually put him in the X-Wing that, he was famous for flying in the book. So good at it that, Santa was able to tell it was him just by his flying style. So hopefully we'll get him there. But anyway, we got 7 pilot skill. You got basic tie stats, 2, 3, 3, 0 shields. You got your focus, you got your barrel, you got your evade, you got your single EPT, clocking in at 17 points. For her ability, at the start of the combat phase, you may spend 1 focus token to choose a friendly ship at range 1 and may perform a free action. So, That's nice. She's going around tossing out free actions, and that's actually really good with some of the things we'll see later on in this pack. It can combo really well with them, but that's nice. It's always nice to give away free actions. So pretty much, it's almost like you do an action as the focus, and you're pretty much kind of giving that action to somebody else by spending the focus to give them an action. So that's really nice. I actually think that'll be an interesting card. Let's see. Let's see. The next card is Sabine Wren coming in at 5 pilot skill and 15 points. Also with the EPD. Immediately before you reveal your maneuver, you may perform a free booster barrel action. Once again, I like how Fantasy Flight kind of seems to keep this theme. This has been Sabine's ability on the attack shell, and it's the same here. So I kind of like that. It's like no matter what ship she's flying, she kind of has the same skill. I don't even remember her flying a ship that much on the show, actually. She's always on her like booster packs and shooting at people and stuff. But that's cool. I like that. It's 5 points. All right, another good ship. Nice and maneuverable, like you'd probably want a tie to be dancing around people. Now we have a fan favorite, Captain Rex. First showed off in the Clone Wars, now Old Man Rex is in Rebels, and he comes in at a pilot skill 4, which makes sense. I don't remember him piloting around too much. He's more of a shooter and leader, going around flying them Imperial ties. But let's see, he comes in at 14 points. No, nothing on his bar, but that's all right. We'll have a way to fix that, and you all will see that later. It says, after you perform an attack, assign the suppressive fire condition card to the defender. And actually, you all may be wondering what's a condition card? What is that like? So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys. That's something new to X-Wing. It's a new ability that they have. They call them conditions. They're kind of just standard. It's almost like, as it says, a condition that ship can be under. So rather than something that you target to a particular ship, this stays on that ship until something happens. And you can see you even have a nice token to show off that ship has that condition on it. And he has the suppressive fire. See, they also have a unique back, so you can tell the card's pretty easy. And suppressive fire, which is unique. When attacking a ship other than Captain Rex, roll 1 fewer attack die. Remember, you're giving this card to somebody. So now they have to do what this card says. And it says, when attacking a ship other than Captain Rex, roll 1 fewer attack die. When you declare an attack target Captain Rex, or when Captain Rex is destroyed, remove this card. At the end of the combat phase, if Captain Rex did not perform an attack this phase, remove this card. So essentially what this is like it says, it's kind of a cool thing I like about conditions so far is that it's doing things that you'd have a hard time doing with the current mechanics in the game. So with this, it's almost like he is doing suppressive fire. Yeah, he may not be doing a lot of damage in his tie with his 2 dice, but that doesn't matter. He's just trying to distract you. He's just firing on you so that you're losing your option. So now you're rolling 1 fewer attack die against everybody else unless you decide to turn around and try to focus on him. And you take your focus off of whoever you're trying to fight and focus on Captain Rex. That may be, a Falcon or a B-Wing that's about to fly up in your face while you're busy going off chasing Captain Rex. So, as I say in X-Wing, anything that makes the opponent make a hard choice is good, because when you make choices, that's when you make mistakes. Anytime you can try to make them force prioritization of one ship over another ship, you can always find a way to spin that in your favor and make sure that was the wrong choice. So I like this. I really like being able to distract. I actually do think I'm going to attempt to fly this around some. At being only, 14 points, Captain Rex isn't the end of the world if he gets blown up, if this is all you have on him. So I like that. But let's get back to the pilots. And this is our last pilot, actually. No generic pilots for this. So you're not going to be flying any rebel swarms of just swarms and swarms of ties. You can just pretty much have these 4 pilots, and that's it. So Zeb comes in at 3, Zeborelis. When defending, you may cancel crit results before hit results. And once again, he had this ability before. It actually works really well on this ship, maybe even a little bit better because you don't have those shields. And getting a crit could be really bad for you. I mean, he costs, maybe 1 more point? I don't fly Imperials, but I think he costs 1 more point than a typical tie. And for having the ability to cancel the crits first, I probably say it's worth it. So those are our pilots. I like those. I actually think I could find a reason to fly most of those at some point in time. So let's go ahead and see the other bread and butter of X-Wing upgrades. Let's see, a Veteran Instincts VI. Card's super common, like one of the most common cards you'll ever see on any ship. EPT1, increase your pilot's skill value by 2, but it does have a purpose in this, and you all will see that when we get later on of why they wanted to include another copy in this. You have Captain Rex Crew, unique rebel only for 2 points. After you perform an attack that does not hit, you may assign 1 focus token to your ship. So actually, that seems pretty interesting. It's almost like I think everyone's going to assume, put this with Gunner. It could be really interesting, but that does take up two crew slots if you're gonna have Gunner and this, and then Luke costs the same amount of points because Gunner's 5, I believe, so that's 7. And Luke does pretty much the same thing. He's Gunner with a focus, from what I remember. I actually don't think I've ever used Luke. But I still like that. You could put that maybe on a TLT or something like that, or a ship with a TLT. That could be interesting. Just to have that extra focus on the second shot to make sure it goes through. Especially if you're flying like Miranda, on that first shot you should throw 1 less die to get your shield back. Maybe you want more of a guarantee that second shot's going to hit. Actually, I don't remember. I am sorry, I cannot remember right now if the K-Wing has a crew slot or not. Yes, it does. I believe it does. Yes. So throw him on there. If you got 2 extra points, now you got an extra focus. There you go. Done. Nice. All right, now we have something new there. Unique illicit, and you guys are going to see why they included an illicit. Them rebels, that they scrap their ships together, and Fantasy Flight has been going with that theme of them scrapping their ships together from whatever they can find, because they're getting those illicits now. We already have the Falcon that can get an illicit. Now we got another one, EMP device, 2 points. During the combat phase, instead of performing any attacks, you may discard this card and assign 2 ion tokens to each ship at range 1. That's why it gave us all them ion tokens. So that's really nice for control. If you're somebody that likes to just control the map, going in there, throwing off your EMP device for 2 points, you can ionize everybody, especially if they're flying a swarm. Maybe, the swarm's going to turn. They're going to turn to go after somebody, and you just EMP them and just fly them straight. Maybe you use this to try to fly somebody off the map, something like that. Something cheeky. Just ionize them. There we go. Now, these 2 cards are the ones that are the bread and butter of this. Captured TIE. TIE Fighter only, Rebel only modification. So you're not throwing this on the typical TIE. Captured TIE. Once again, very thematic. Enemy ships with pilot skill value lower than yours cannot declare you the target of an attack. After you perform an attack or when you are the only remaining friendly ship in play, discard this card, 1 point. This is a really good modification, guys, for some of the stuff that's coming in here. That means that you can essentially fly around the map without anybody messing with you that's lower pilot skill than you. Of course, Captured TIE, it's pretty much, they just think you're another TIE flyer flying around not knowing what you're doing. Maybe you're just a rookie. They're like, why is he flying and bumping into us? He's messing us all up. Yeah, and it says attack is when they can start shooting at you again. It says attack, so keep in mind, something like that EMP device that it just gave us, but you're going to see how you can equip that in a second. That's not an attack. Something like bombs. If you were to somehow find a way to drop bombs on this ship, you could go around just dropping bombs, and they can't shoot back at you. And with that VI instincts, put this on Ahsoka. And Ahsoka can also pass out those focus, so she can just fly into the middle of everything, not worry about getting attacked by anybody lower than her, and use her focus to pass out free actions. So that's really nice, and that pairs well with the ship's title. Sabine's Masterpiece. TIE Fighter only, Rebel only. Your upgrade bar gains the crew and the illicit slot for 1 point. I think this is almost like just a guaranteed take if you want to fly something more than just like a naked plain ship. Next, that the crew adds a lot of options to a TIE along with the illicit. It's like, I love how they found a way to give the rebels a TIE, but change the gameplay still, change it up, make it unique and make it like Rebels. Put the crew on there. You can start doing some kind of crazy shenanigans. Like I said, put Sabine on there. And that, what now? Now you got a bomb slot. Now you can throw bombs on there. Now you can, have Ahsoka with Sabine right, and and going around throwing bombs on people, whatnot. This is really interesting. This is an interesting ship. The interesting thing about this ship is there aren't that many pieces that are going to be useful on other ships. But you've got your VI, you've got Captain Rex, and the EMP. Unless you're flying Scum, or you're going to put it on the Falcon its smugglers with its smugglers compartment, you're not going to get a lot of use of that. But this is a very good self-contained ship. Like, a lot of the things in this upgrade work well with each other. And I can't say I am a fan of this one. So far, I'm really excited to fly the conditions and see how that works. So I'm really happy with this purchase. So that, look at that. Like I said, that looks really nice. I really like those colors. Those colors remind me of Rebels too. The yellow and the orange really makes me think of Rebels. I really like that show. So thank you for watching. This has been Unboxing from Geek Public Broadcasting. I've been your host, Zayton1. And please remember, until next time, we ask you to engage brightly. Thanks. Bye.